So cinnamon comes from different parts of the world, and Saigon happens to be make it is. I always find that the cinnamon from that part of the world is a little more. It's a little stronger. So it says put a half a teaspoon. Are we caught up, Yuan? Are you with me?
So 1 tablespoon of maple syrup.
Yes. You know that. You good? So with liquid, you have to stick to it. But sometimes with things like spices in recipes with cookies, vanilla, I always add a little extra. Sometimes with cinnamon or cloves. Not cloves. Cloves are strong, but cinnamon sometimes. It says use a half a teaspoon, but we're gonna put in a teaspoon just because we want a little bit of a kick. How are we doing, Yuan?
I'm putting.
So here's what I was talking about. Here's a rounded teaspoon of cinnamon. So I'm gonna level it off.
No.
So you got the maple syrup?
No, not yet.
Not yet? Okay. How about you, Justin? You with us?
Yeah, I'm trying to open my cinnamon.
Oh my goodness. Well, I can't help you there, brother.
Almost got it.
All right, so I'm putting the cinnamon in here, and I'm using a teaspoon. The recipe calls for a half, but I'm putting in a little more because it's has a good flavor. And sometimes, depending upon the recipe, you can, you can fool around with it a little bit. Oops, I forgot the salt.
Oh, what's cinnamon?
So it calls for this calls for sea salt. So are you guys familiar with sea salt? So this is actually kosher salt, which is just a little thicker. How you doing, Yuan? Are you caught up?
And cinnamon.
You got the cinnamon?
Add cinnamon.
Yes. Put in a teaspoon.
1 tablespoon.
Wait, what happened?
1 teaspoon.
1 teaspoon.
Okay. 1 teaspoon. Okay.
And then if you don't have sea salt or kosher salt, that's the same thing. I like to use it because it's a little coarser. It's just a personal thing. It doesn't matter at all. Salt is salt. But this is calling for 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and that I'm gonna make it be 1/4 because we don't want it to be too salty. But, how are you doing, Yuan? Good? Just dump that cinnamon in there.
And then sea salt?
Are you on the salt already?
No, but I can listen to
Okay.
How much sea salt?
Just 1/4 teaspoon.
Okay.
And as I said, if it's just you have regular ionized salt, that's fine. So I'm just gonna. I don't want to rush everybody, but I got to keep moving because we want to make sure we get to everything.
1/4 teaspoon of
salt. If you don't have sea salt, it's fine. Regular salt is fine.
Okay, I have sea salt. Yeah, they gave us some material, so that was nice.
How are you even open this?
Okay. All right. So the next ingredient to go in the bowl is coconut flour. I don't know if any of you ever used coconut flour?
No.
It's pretty amazing. So, you know, there are a lot of people in the world that are gluten-free. In other words, they can't eat the gluten that's in wheat. Any wheat product has gluten in it, so they can't eat it. So, you know, again, it's a marketing thing. Like marketers came up with, oh my God, there are people that are gluten-free. Well, then we have to come up with alternatives. And, you know, there's almond flour, coconut flour. They make flour out of nuts, other kinds of nuts. So this is, as you'll see, it says grain-free coconut flour. So that's 1 tablespoon. That's gonna go in the bowl. How's it going, Yuan? I can't quite see what you're doing.
I'm just putting salt, but my mom wanted other kind of salt.
Open the top and then pour it into the quarter teaspoon.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. All right, so once you get all those things in there, we're just gonna mix it up. It's very simple. That's it. And I'm doing it in a mixer, but you can do it with a whisk in a bowl. That's fine.
Am I putting coconut flour in?
Yes. Yep. So I'm just curious, I did send out recipes. Justin, have you been getting my recipes?
Yes.
Good. Okay, good. I just want to make sure I send it to the right place.
How much flour am I putting in?
1 tablespoon, but do you have your recipe?
Yeah, it's yeah, I'll pull it up.
It's okay, I don't mind telling you. I just wanted to double check that you got it. Yeah, so 1 tablespoon of coconut flour, and then you're gonna mix it either in a mixer or with a whisk.
And got sea salt, and then what?
Okay, the sea salt is 1/4 teaspoon, and then you add 1 tablespoon of coconut flour.
Coconut flour here.
All right, how are we doing? Good?
How much? Coconut flour.
1 tablespoon.
1 tablespoon. Where's my tablespoon?
So, and then once this is all mixed up, we're going to stick the mixture in the freezer. I honestly don't know that it really needs to be in the freezer, but we'll do what the recipe says. So I'm going to stick, you can see my mixtures right here. That's it. Very simple. And I'm going to stick mine in the freezer to let it get cold. I'm going to set my timer on my phone for 15 minutes. And, then we're going to move on to the chocolate, which is a whole lesson in itself. Okay.
After coconut flour, then what?
1 tablespoon.
And then?
What?
And then what is that?
Or then you want to mix it up. Either with a whisk by hand or
Mix it up and then put it in the freezer.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to put this in the freezer and let it get cold.
Would you all mind showing me what you've made so far so that I can take a quick photo.
Is there a question?
What'd you say?
Would you all mind showing me what you have so far so that I can take a quick photo?
Whom are you addressing?
All of you. I'm the curriculum and training coordinator. Just sitting in on some of the workshops just to see how everything's going and to get some photos.
Awesome. Okay. Fine. So you guys can you can hold. Oh, Zalma, you're Zalma. Hello.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Welcome. So let me see you on. Let me see your bowl, and then we can. Oh, all
Okay,
right.
just 1 second. 1 second. Let me take the photo.
Justin, yours
Oh, wait,
looks
1
better
second.
than mine. I don't know. Justin, put
Okay, thank you so much.
Justin,
Yes, they both look amazing.
mush it with the thing with your spatula so I could see it. That looks good. Why mine does not look soft like that? Mine should be softer. Okay, Yuan, want to show Zalma your bowl? You want to see Yuan's bowl? Yuan, can you put your bowl up?
Yeah, I think I got a good photo of it, but it looks really good, Yuhan.
There you go, Yuan. That's looking good. I don't know.
Did I put it in the freezer now?
Yeah,
Can you all just remind me what you're making?
yeah. We're making. Yuan, you want
Like
to tell
Reese's
Zalma
cups.
what we're making?
Reese cups.
What?
It's something similar to Reese cups. It's just
But
a healthier version.
Healthy version. Tell Zalma what we're making, please. Yuan, do you have your recipe in front of you?
Recipe.
That's all right. Okay.
That's good. I'm good. Thank you.
Huh? So
Yeah,
it's
I heard they're similar to Reese's cups, right?
chocolate. So the recipe is called chocolate almond butter cups. Chocolate almond butter cups.
What's the coconut oil for?
Well, we're going to get to that. That's a very interesting part of the lesson.
Oh, chocolate almond butter cups.
Yes. We'll make great Christmas presents. You know, the other thing you could do if you wanted to is you could grate. This is a wonderful little microplane that all chefs have. You'll see right here a little tiny, they're almost like little knives. Like if you
Excuse me,
have
Miss Nina.
a grater, you grate your orange with this. So you could also put orange peel in it if you wanted. All right. So we're gonna move
Excuse me,
on.
Miss Nina.
Yes.
Can you just remind them how long you have to have it in the freezer?
Oh yeah, like 10 minutes.
Okay,
So,
the
put it in the freezer for 10 minutes and time yourself.
frozen.
That's it. Right now you have to do this.
Which section should we put in the freezer?
Hold on a minute.
10 minutes.
This is level. So frozen or freezing or unfreezing?
Unfreeze? I don't know. Miss Nina, he has a 2-section freezer. What section should he put it in?
Oh,
The freezer part.
in the freezer part.
Okay. The freezer part, the freezing section.
Oh,
The freezer section. Where you put your ice cream.
ice cream. Okay.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Into that bowl. Oh. All right. Okay.
It's hard.
What?
The coconut oil is hard.
That's correct. That's in its natural state. So So a lot of times with chocolate, you add a fat to it. Give it a little bit more body and keep it from overheating a lot of times. So you need a spoon or a fork to go in there, and we're gonna measure out a tablespoon and a half of coconut oil. So yours shouldn't be too hard, like mine comes out like that. Now the most important thing, hold on. The most important thing when you're dealing with chocolate, when you're working with chocolate, is you have to have a a dry bowl, and chocolate can't have any water in next to it. Because if you have any water next to it, it's what they call seizes. So it doesn't, it breaks and then you can't use it. It's too long to go into in one class because it's a whole science. Chocolate is a whole science, so.
So what do we do after we put our thing in the freezer?
So get a tablespoon and a half, and you're gonna get the coconut oil and scoop it out.
And put it in the bowl.
Make sure it's a 1.5 tablespoon.
Okay. Yeah. 1.5 tablespoon.
That's correct. Yep.
Okay. That's 1 tablespoon. Oh wow, it's really hard.
Did you hear her about the part making sure your bowl is dry?
Yeah,
Because
that's
you're about to make the chocolate. Did you hear that part, Johan?
Which bowl?
When you okay, so after you get the coconut oil, you scoop it out, get a big bowl, and make sure it's dry all the way. And then you put the coconut oil in.
A new bowl? Or the bowl before?
Like a medium-sized bowl. New bowl, not the one you have in the freezer, a new bowl. This is separate.
Got it. Let's see. Well, but coconut oil is really hard.
I didn't hear what you said.
Okay, that's fine.
So I always say with recipes that they're like a jumping off place. I mean, obviously when you're baking, when you're making anything, you want to read the recipe and see what it says. But when you've been in the business a long time and you work professionally, you learn to read recipes in a different way. And sometimes you can tweak it if you want to. Okay, my timer already went off. So we're just gonna focus on, does everybody have the chocolate and the coconut oil in the bowl?
Nope. I'm having trouble getting out on my coconut oil.
The coconut oil?
Yeah, it's really hard.
你拿一个电绳还是拿这个绳吧？
Okay.
Use a metal spoon to scoop it out, and then know how you did it with the first cup. Use a metal spoon to scoop it out, and then put it in.
But that is a bit plastic. That is kind of.
Yeah.
没事，弄好。
Just going here. You can get more to this last thing. Go ahead. All right, so we gotta keep moving. So I'm gonna mix this up a little bit. And so there's several ways to melt chocolate. Whether you have inexpensive chocolate like this is the cheapest kind you can get. For our purposes, it'll still taste good, but it wasn't very expensive. There's all kinds of grades of chocolate, from, $2 bag of chips to a $50 block of beautiful Swiss chocolate. And we could do another class on that. So there are two ways to melt chocolate. No matter how you melt chocolate, there are several things to keep in mind. No water anywhere near the chocolate, or really any liquid. You don't want any kind of a liquid, but definitely not water. So all we have in here is the chips and the coconut oil. You can either do it over a double boiler, which is basically a pan full of water on the stove with a bowl that fits over the top of it. That takes a lot longer because you have to go very slow. The bowl can't hit the bottom. The bowl, whatever hits the bottom of the chocolate bowl is only steam. The water can't touch it, because if the chocolate gets too hot, you're done. And then you got to throw it in the garbage and start again. So doing it in the microwave is actually, to our purposes, a better way to do it. So we're going to put it in the microwave in 10-second increments. I mean, it's kind of a pain because you have to keep going every 10 seconds, but it's the safest way to do it.
How much chocolate am I put?
Okay, it's 2 cups of chocolate and a tablespoon and a half of coconut oil. So I'm mixing it up. Nothing's really happened yet. It's a little tiny bit shiny. But this is kind of the way you have to do it. However you do it, it's very slow, so that you don't overheat the chocolate.
Johan, was you able to get the oil out?
You get the coconut oil out?
Yeah, because it's
Okay. So you can see now it's getting a little shiny. And the coconut oil kind of helps it melt and gives it a nice flavor. And coconut, of course, is always very good for you. So this is 3 times we've done it now.
And then how much chocolate?
2 cups of chocolate and a cup and a half, and a cup and a half. 2 cups of chocolate chips. 2 cups.
Those are cookies. You don't have like chocolate, like little pieces of candy.
What is that? Are you on?
Those are cookies. Those are chocolate chip cookies.
Oh.
So you need the chocolate, like the chocolate candies, just the candies alone.
You need chips, or you could use, if you don't have chips, you could use
That's the only thing you have.
16 ounces of a Nestle's chocolate bar. Yeah, you can't use chocolate. If that's chocolate chip dough, that's chocolate chip dough.
Yes, that.
Yeah, that's the chocolate chip.
You gotta have chips or some kind of chocolate.
Okay, you got it.
He has it.
And then you need 2 cups of it.
Okay, good. Yes, good. All right, the rest of you, are you doing this in the microwave?
Can I warm my chocolate up with the coconut oil?
That's
or that'll be separate?
Yes, together.
Oh. Okay.
That actually helps the process.
Yeah.
Make sure that you only do 10 seconds. It takes time. It's kind of a pain, but it's the safest way to do it.
So how many total amount of times are you gonna put it in the microwave?
Well, right now, this is probably 5 times. I'll show you. So you can see this is 5 times. See how shiny, it's not melted yet, but it's getting shiny. Can you see?
Yeah, I can see.
I mean, doing it over the stove, it goes a little quicker, but you know, any food product, you have to honor the product. You know, because if you honor the product, it'll give you what you want. If you don't honor the product, it won't. And the chocolate will, you know, it'll be a mess. So you can see inside of the bowl, see it's a little melted over here.
So what thing do we put in our microwave?
Write down 8 to 10
10
times.
seconds.
Question mark for how many 10 seconds you stick it in there. But it's
So
really
put it in the microwave for 10 seconds, take it out, stir it, and then put it in the microwave again for the same amount of time, and then keep repeating that process like 6 times.
yes, correct.
What thing?
The chocolate and the coconut oil in the bowl, put it in the microwave for 10 seconds, take it out. After it's finished, stir it, and then put it back in the microwave for another 10 seconds. And then you're gonna take it out and stir it, and you're gonna keep doing that for at least like 6 different times.
You just have to, it's like you have to eyeball it and see what you think. Eventually you'll start to see that it's melting. You can't really give, you know, it's kind of ballpark. You have to look at it. Depends upon the temperature in the kitchen. If you're up in the mountains, it's different from down on the, you know, in the city. But for the most part, okay. Wow. So your product looked like it was better. I think mine, I got it at the grocery store, and I don't think that they didn't grind the almonds as fine as they do with peanut butter. So I'm gonna let mine mix again. All right, see, now we're getting there. See?
是那个变什么样了？
Like this much? This lot?
Yep,
Wow.
that much.
Next class we do with the truffles. I'll show you how to do it on a bain-marie. I'll have a burner here and I'll show you. There really isn't any way around it. Just melting chocolate takes time. It's just the way it is.
Johan,
Huh?
take your other bowl out the freezer.
Okay.
So, and then what we'll do is we're gonna take this and we're gonna literally hold it in our hands and make a ball.
没有变化，你这个。
Which is if this recipe calls for doing something else, it's too complicated. But we're basically just gonna make a lot of balls. And then you can stick the ball right in your muffin tin, or you could stick it in this. And then once the chocolate's melted, we're gonna put the chocolate on it. So we're getting there.
Okay, did you stir it? Okay, now put it back in the microwave.
There? You mean stir or stare?
It's just, I know it's a pain, but it's,
10 more seconds.
trust me, if you don't do it right, it's actually good to do it wrong once, because then you really see how complicated it is. Hello, Rachel. Hi.
Hi, I'm just coming to visit. I work in the development department at LEAP, and we're just trying to get a sense of all the resources, and so we're just paying a visit and taking a few pictures.
Well, we're so happy you came.
Thank you for
Welcome.
for letting me come in.
Oh, of course.
Are you making truffles?
So we're not making truffles. We're making, just 1 second. So you can see, so that's probably like 10 times I put it in the microwave, okay? 10 times in 10 seconds, and here now we have melted chocolate.
对了，
So we're making, Rachel, we're making,
它
another second.
Yeah, mix.
We're making chocolate almond butter cups. So instead of, if you had, Reese's Pieces cups, so this is a healthier version. And I thought it would be fun to do something, chocolate's good for us. It has coconut oil in it. Cinnamon is good for us, little maple syrup. It actually, the only sugar in it is actually the maple syrup, which is pretty remarkable. And it's gonna put the coconut and the almonds, give it a nice flavor. And then of course you dip it in the chocolate.
Well, that sounds delicious. Don't let me slow you down. I'm just watching for a few minutes.
It's fine. How are we doing?
My chocolates are melted.
All right. So if we were in a fancy chocolate shop,
Justin, you took your bowl out the freezer.
Yeah.
so if we were in a fancy chocolate shop, we would have a lot of different equipment that I do not have at the moment. So,
你看它是吗？
but the kitchen is just a laboratory for life, because in life, as you get older and live longer, you probably have had these experiences by now. A lot of times you have to improvise in life. That's just the way it is. You think something is, you have everything, and then at the last minute you realize, oh, I don't, so I'm gonna have to do something different. So if you get your whatever ingredient, your almond butter ingredients, you can just go in there with your trusty hands or with gloves on. If we were all together, obviously I'd have a mask on and gloves and everything else, but so I'm just making little balls and I'm putting them in our little I'm putting them in my paper, or you can put them right in the muffin tin.
Ms. Nina, can you slow down for 1 second again?
Yes, sure. How's it going?
I just want Yuhan to catch up.
Okay, sure.
He's still heating up
Well,
his
that's
chocolate.
good you tell me, honey, because, I'll just keep talking.
All right.
So while we're waiting for you to catch up, you all are making Justin, you making little balls?
可能啊
Say that again.
Yuhan, how many times did you put it in the microwave, hon?
This is the 5th time.
The 5th time you said?
Yeah.
Okay, 4 more times.
Yeah, I know.
Remember, I forgot to say this. When in between putting it in the microwave, make sure you stir it,
我老子都叫它
because that'll help with a dry utensil. Do you need any more pictures, Zalma?
No, I'm okay for now. Thank you.
Good, okay.
Since I'm making the brownie one, what I do?
Say that again?
Since I didn't have like the muffin pan, and you said it's okay if I make the brownies, how do I do it in like the pan?
Okay. So see, mine is not liquidy because mine isn't ground enough, which is fine, but how stiff is your mixture?
Stiff enough after the freezer.
You can just get a brownie pan and like
What?
one that's you want it a little, so you can actually make bars out of this. So these are like cups, but you could do the same process and make it a bar. So I have a pan this size.
Uh-huh.
You know, you don't want the pan too big because otherwise the mixture will be too thin, but I would say a smallish pan, and then just put some, either butter or this on it, and rub the oil around a little bit so that it greases the pan, and then put your mixture with a spatula and rub all around the bottom. Try to get it even. And then what we'll do with you is we'll take the chocolate and we'll pour it on top, and then it can set in the fridge. So
Okay.
so you'll just have a different variation. Yeah, because this recipe says it makes 24 balls, and obviously their balls are much smaller than mine because mine are making 9, but that's fine. You know, with things like this, you can kind of improvise. You don't have to do exactly what they say.
Okay, you finished putting it in and out the microwave?
But
Uh,
again,
I'm talking to you, Han. Sorry.
oh, okay.
Thanks so much for letting me come. It was great to see you. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, we'll be here next week making candy cane truffles for Christmas.
Awesome. All right. Thanks so much. Take care. Bye.
I also have to get going to another resource, but thank you for having me.
That looked good. That's
That
good.
looks amazing, Yuhan.
Let me see you on. Oh, Yuan, that's awesome. This is an art. I want you to know. If you go to the library and read about chocolate and pastry chefs, there'll be a whole book about just dealing with chocolate because it's so delicate and so difficult. So that's good, but you're not quite melted yet. You got to go a little bit more.
Okay.
And I know you know this, but you make sure you never put any vessel in the microwave that has any metal on it, right? Your mother's there. Your mother's good.
Okay, bye everyone. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye. Have a good night.
So thanks for coming. Thanks for your help.
Yes, thank you for having me.
It's good. It's great.
Bye.
All right, you want to keep going?
哦，是这个没有。对呀。啊，不是我们这个还需要再更新录吗？有录吗？我可以把它弄成。
它没有很化，所以老师建议我再来一次。
我也觉得你再来一次，去吧，弄一次吧。哇，弄一下还是。
好。
So what I was saying before, if you were in a chocolate shop, there are a lot of different kinds of things you can use to coat an item with chocolate. So we could dip this in the chocolate, but then you're going to get pieces of almond in the chocolate, and that's not going to be good for a finished product. So what I'm going to do is leave these in their containers, which I don't know if you can even see. And I'm going to take a spoon and I'm going to pour the chocolate on top of it. Or maybe I'll do it this way. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to put them all in there here without the papers and then put them in the papers later. I think that's better. Because a lot of times when you're baking, you get excited about what you're doing, and then you realize halfway through, it's like, oh, well, I want to make sure I do it correctly so the finished product looks good. You don't want, like, if it's supposed to be coated in chocolate, you don't want little bits and pieces of almond all over the place. So I'm just going to pour. My dog just stole the cat food bowl. Oh. He's very naughty, but I love him. Any of you guys have animals?
Yes.
Who said that?
Me.
This is the way to do it. So
Okay, Justin, with your
I like this.
brownies. Okay.
Nice.
You want, how's the chocolate?
It turns like this.
Is it melted?
You did it right. Now you gotta add the chocolate on top of it, Justin.
Like this.
Okay.
That's the chocolate. Is it all melted?
Need to melt it a little bit more.
Teeny bit more. You
Okay.
want to see mine? Look,
Okay.
you're almost there. This is teaching you a lot of patience that you will need in your life. When you're a grown man and you have babies, when you go to your job and the boss says, no, you've got to do it again, you'll say, I remember that chocolate class. Yeah, so this is a good way to do it. I'm just pouring the chocolate on here. We're going to roll it around with like a stick. And then I'm going to stick it in the papers. All right, Bailey. So this is what I'm going to use. This is just a, I don't know, some kind of a skewer. And I'm going to take it and just gently roll the ball around in the chocolate. Can you see what I'm doing? Because we want to make sure it's all coated. But gently, so because we don't want to get the, we don't want to dislodge the almond so it's all over the outside so it doesn't look pretty. I think this is the best method. Okay, I have a little calamity over here. Okay. No. All right,
Perfect. It's melted perfect.
perfect.
Okay.
Awesome. So you learned a new technique today.
Okay. So what's the next step?
And then you can see mine.
So get the cupcake pan
Okay.
and you buttered it up already, right?
So I put my ball in the
You
cupcake
buttered
pan.
up your cupcake pan.
Not yet.
Butter it up.
Just a little butter though, not a lot, just a teeny bit.
Okay.
So what do I do when I finish putting the chocolate on?
Let me see,
Oh.
please. I'm sure it's beautiful. I just want to see.
Let me see your pan again, Miss Nina.
Sure, honey. Yeah, so basically I just put the balls in there and then I I poured the chocolate on it and I turned it around so gently so it doesn't dislodge the almonds. I'm sorry, that looks good. So did you put the chocolates on there or no?
Yeah.
It looks gorgeous. So
It
all you
didn't-
gotta do, I put some
almond butter.
plastic wrap on it, let it set up for like an hour, and then you can pull it out and make squares and give them as Christmas presents or eat them.
Okay, wait, how long again?
Like an hour. You probably don't even need that long. I would say an hour, but make sure you cover it up with plastic wrap and make sure it's not near
Okay,
any,
Yuhan, did you
like
finish
an onion
buttering
or
the pan?
garlic. Huh?
Sorry, I'm trying to make sure he catches up.
That's
Yuhan,
okay. It's
did you
okay.
finish buttering the pan?
Yuan, you're doing a great job. Pretty soon I'm going to start calling you chef. It will be very exciting when we can do this in person because it's, you know, when you're teaching in person, you know, I can move around the table and kind of keep everybody on the same page, but it's more challenging when you're across the airwaves. But thank you, Gracia, for your help. You're doing a great job.
You're
There we
welcome.
go. That's it. Perfect size.
And what do we do? Then what's about this?
Okay, so you want to make little, just make little balls.
Okay, that's easy.
And really, it's up to you what size.
那有干嘛呀？
我现在这边
划了，不粘了。
Like you want, look, that's my size ball. But you can make them that size or smaller.
这个还是不画的，那个硬邦邦的。
给
不洗就行了。好吧，他那会儿给你剪指甲的事情。
Okay. So I've been told by Miss Barbara that I'm supposed to end on time, but I have to show you this last piece. So once I get them in their little, I'll just give you a demo. I'm just going to do one here.
Because I can't say that for anything else. So.
So for presentation's sake, a white plate is always nice to do desserts on. So that's why I'm using this. And I'm going to take my little almond creation here. And we could either do, I'll do two. The recipe calls for sea salt. So one, I'm going to put, this is sea salt. This is very fancy. It was like $9. It's ridiculous, but this is high-end restaurants. You find, if you went to a pastry shop, you find truffles with a little sea salt on them. It's crystal flakes, sea salt. So if you bought that, you'll probably have it in your cupboard for a long time. But it's just that idea of sweet and salty is sometimes tasty. Like if you ever had peanut brittle or nut brittle, a lot of times you'll have, there's salt on top of it. It's sweet and then it's salty. And it's kind of a nice look. You'll see it's very, you don't want a lot.
Excuse me.
Yeah, honey.
I'm logging off a little early. I have a meeting to attend. So
That's fine. We're just about done.
have a good day, everybody.
Thank you so much, Ricky. Come back next week. We'd love to have you.
I will.
Yeah.
Send pictures. Bye.
So we did the sea salt on one. I'm going to bring it up to the table, to the camera, and then I'm going to do orange peel on the other just for fun. So the nice thing about this is about $10 at the Bed Bath & Beyond, and you do the rind like this, and then the rind goes inside the top of it. So it's very nice. It goes right in where it's supposed to. So this is the sea salt. It's very fancy, but you can get it at the grocery store. So you can see, I don't know if you can see these. So one has sea salt, this one is sea salt, and this one is orange. And I'm going to put these in the fridge covered with plastic, but so that it doesn't lie down on it, and let them set up. How, Yuan, I'm here. What do you need?
what I will just put melted chocolate on the balls.
Did you make the balls already?
I'm making some.
Okay, they don't have to be perfect. Just grab a bunch, squeeze it, roll it in your hand.
All right, got it. Yeah,
You're doing a great job.
thanks.
Yeah, so, you know, like this.
张老师，
Okay.
Let me see the ball, honey. Let me see. That's it. That's it. That's perfect. Just roll them a little bit so you want it all smooth. Like a base. What sports do you play?
Basketball.
Okay, like a little basketball. You want it round, so just you can't hurt it. That's perfect. That's it. You got it. You got it. Look at that. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Drop it in the pan. Do that to everybody. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because Miss Barbara's gonna get mad at me if I don't leave. So
Okay.
Justin, great job. That's what you call punting in the kitchen. You know, I don't have that pan. I'm gonna make it like this, and it's perfect. You can still make a really pretty product. You could cut it in little squares. You could cut it in triangles. You could get a cookie cutter and go like this. You could even make, if you wanted to, you could get a little snowman and cut cookies out of it.
Okay.
All right.
So what? So
Okay, so pour some chocolate on one of them so I can see the finished product, and then that's a wrap, baby. That's a wrap. We gotta go. There you go. You got it. Okay, so put it in the dish and pour some chocolate on it, roll it around, and then I'm gonna bid you adieu.
okay.
Spoon a little chocolate over the top of the balls. See, the hardest part when you're doing this is the camera's not big enough so that I can see what everybody's doing.
Yeah.
Is that Yoda on your refrigerator?
Yeah.
I love Yoda. That's my nickname for my son.
Oh, really?
Mhm. All right, let me see.
All right. So one that have chocolate looks like this.
That's okay. Let me, I can't, move your hand, honey. Just move your hand to one side. Okay, that's good, but you can put more chocolate in there. You can like coat it like halfway up the pan and then whirl it or mush it around. See, like mine have a lot of chocolate.
Oh.
And it's already getting, it sets up quick, the chocolate does. So I'm gonna let you go, honey. You did a great job.
So how much degrees?
How much what?
Like
oven.
Oh, we put it in the oven.
No, honey, this is it. It has no eggs in it, so you don't have to cook it. This is it. Put the chocolate on it and then put it on a plate or in a dish or something and let it set up, cover it with plastic and let it set up and then you can eat it.
Okay.
Okay, my friends, I'm gonna go now. Thank you for coming. La Jolie Chef, I bid you adieu. See you next week.
See
Merry
ya.
Christmas.
See ya.
Thanks, Justin.
Thank you.
Good job. Bye. See you next week. I'll send the recipe soon for next week.
Okay.
And it's a lot of the same techniques, chocolate and rolling balls. So you got it.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, honey.
Bye.